Welcome to the Heavyweight Podcast.
The message behind saying the title "The Heavyweight Podcast" is to be able to say that we can weigh in on some heavy shit. You know, what we're talking about is important from every aspect of it. It's a heavy weight. It's not just about physical weight, but the weight of things that can weigh our minds. So I think it's dope that we can have this conversation. What's good? This is episode 107 of the Heavyweight Podcast. I am Studden McFly with these three guys. Go ahead and state your name for these beautiful people out. Cheer.
T. Felicious Ellis. What's up? What's up?
It's your boy Molito.
Hey, and they call me Hunter.
How were your weeks?
I'll let y'all go.
My week was beautiful. I got the goddamn cast off.
Nice.
I can finally clean my whole body.
Did you smell it? Did you smell it?
I was having sex with the cast on, sir. The cast ain't stop shit.
Were you 2 shades lighter?
I wasn't lighter, but it is I do have 2 different sized legs now. So technically 3 different sized legs, different girth on each leg.
PMI.
You know, but other than that, I mean, it didn't smell, Kevin, because I had a waterproof cast, so I was showering every day still. So the water's getting down in there and draining through it. Other than that, you know, it's been cool. You know, my mother's been here for the past week. I'm ready for her to go home.
Why?
I love her, but there's a reason why we leave the nest.
Thin tight lip.
Yeah, that's it. Other than that, yeah, your week, Hunter and McFly?
At the moment, I was just like, if this was like a Jerry Springer episode, and she was like, well, since you said that, go ahead and come out from the back. Like,
that would be funny if a chair flew out. I'm sorry.
You know, my week. You know my week. Take a guess what my week was.
Okay, McFly, your week, sir?
yeah, shit. Hunter's probably more eventful than mine. I just stayed my ass in the house.
All I did was just go to work.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, I didn't go to work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched that fight last week, that ass whooping, and then I got my ass whooped at work all week.
I thought you was going to say I watched that where they cloned Tyrone.
I started watching it, and then I fell asleep.
I seen half that shit.
Sleep.
My wife has watched that like 4 times. Every time you watch it, you catch something different. I said, "Oh, that's good for you."
I don't. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, you know, the weeks are the weeks. Sometimes they're boring. Sometimes they good. Sometimes, you know,
they cloned you, Tyrone.
Yeah, it's been getting cussed out by customers, but whatever.
I just the part I like about the movie is the Jamie Foxx part. I was international player club Pimple D in 1995.
I'll try.
When he said these chickens, he said these chickens ain't clucking like they used to.
I just like the fact that the way they shot it, it made it feel like it was in the mid-90s, but it was fucking supposed to be current day.
Yeah, but your week before you did uneventful.
Yesterday I went to the dentist and got poked and prodded, and there was some new hygienist, and she fucked me up.
Oh, I thought you were going to go
in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way. I took that shit. There was no Novocaine, no numbing, nothing. It just.
Oh damn! She went raw, huh?
She was. Man, I'll tell you, that was the worst cleaning I've ever had. Shit, my fist clenched up. I almost swung on her. It was bad.
That's what happens. I learned if you smoke, apparently the anesthesia wears off really fast. They told me that after they were in there.
It just threw me because it was the first time I've ever had a cleaning where they went over my whole mouth 3 times with that hook.
It was a deep hook.
I didn't know if they did that fucking new water thing now too. They got.
Oh yeah, they do the hydra thing at the end, but like it's funny because if it's my other hygienist, the one I'm used to seeing there, she what she'll do is she'll use the water pick first, and get and then come back around with
loosen it up with the water and then come back around.
Yeah. She did that shit 3 times with a hook and then came back with that, and that shit was super sensitive. And I said, "What the fuck?" But yeah, I guess she just wanted to be thorough.
My hygienist is a friend from high school. It's kind of crazy.
I can't. I can't have nobody I know. No, I can't have nobody I know in my mouth.
Do you make sure you floss then?
I mean, it's already too late at that point. I'm like, well, you're getting the plaque out, so how the kids?
Because you gotta imagine the kind. Oh yeah, guess who had in the chair today? It was Kevin. That nigga has a nasty ass mouth. It's amazing.
With all those gaps, you would think.
Yet, you talk about gingivitis, like you don't want to be that guy in the fucking having conversations about outside. You at the fucking high school reunion. Man, you want a Tic Tac? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
You just fucking triggered me.
Damn, you triggered early.
He said high school reunion. I got a fucking notification on the day. We're starting to plan our 20. I say 20.
Mine's is next month.
I need to go. They tried to plan that shit and they just fell through the last day. Like they're like, "Hey, no one's coming. We going to Lake Alice."
If it makes you feel better, my 30 years next year.
Yeah, we know you.
That sounds right.
One of our coworkers is my classmate, and that motherfucker said that shit I think earlier this year, and then they've been fucking circling me like a fucking hawk or a vulture. Like, "Hey man, you coming, right?" I said no.
I didn't even know I was in the Facebook group. I said, "Who added me to the shit? Why am I seeing?"
Yeah, that shit's funny. They're looking at you like.
I'm amazed how many people are really into class reunions.
A lot of people.
There
was a bunch of people in there that don't even live in the state no more. We'll come out. We'll drive out. We'll fly out. I said, I'll live a couple hours away. I ain't going.
What throws me is how people talk about high school like it was like so fun, and I'm like, nigga, we had a different experience. I went to school, but it was not a joyous occasion for me. It wasn't like me going, "Oh man," they're like, "Don't you want to see all your?" No, I don't want to see these motherfuckers. The ones I see, I see now. I don't want to revisit.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was single though, I'm going trying to fuck.
I don't.
Really?
Are you going to? Really? That's what the hopes that you still find your classmates attractive, because you come in and you're like, "Oh shit, they do not look like how they used to look." Like,
but once you get there, it's too late. You're like, "Well, I'm fucking something."
Because for me, I looked up some of my high school crushes and I said, "Ooh, I dodged some bullets."
Yeah, most of the time.
You ever see the ones that ended up like just having a baby factory after high school? You like, God damn, like you couldn't say no after 4, like, and they just keep going. You like, shit, like, fuck. And then I remember I ran into a classmate once. Well, there was 2 of us in a grocery store. That they didn't realize I was in front of them, which I should question it. But anyway, they were sitting there having a conversation, and she asked the other classmate. He was like chilling, and she goes, "Oh, so when are you gonna start having kids?" And she looked at him like, or he looked at her like, "Bitch, I'm not." Like why do you have why is that your go-to? Because she was like on baby number 4 or 5, and he was like looking at her like I'm no rush.
She didn't want to feel left out.
I guess, but like I think that at that time we weren't even out of school 10 years, so she was already on like baby number 4 and asked him when is he gonna start, and he looked at her like, "I'm in no rush." Like
she was trying to make him be baby 5, not 5.
Help her have baby number 5.
Yep, help her. I did see some hate. I saw some hate at the gas station, but it was good hate. Like when we pulled up at the gas pump and he was like talking to the lady and she was like, "How's your wife?"
Damn. What did his facial expression change?
No, he tried to lie. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm not married no more." See, like, well, technically I'm still married, but we going through some things. He drove off quick.
His wife getting that message, getting that DM later that day.
Yep.
Guess who I saw at the gas station? Your husband.
Hollering. In your car.
In your car.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's go ahead and get into this. The first question comes. Let's do this the right way. We are not, is it monolithic? Monolithic?
Yeah. So I can say that, right? I can say that.
Yeah, we are not monolithic when you are not black enough. So I guess I'll paraphrase here. I had a conversation with Hunter a couple weeks ago, and we were talking. I said the one thing I realized us four had in common was at some point to either side, we've either been not black enough for anyone not being black or not black enough for our own kind. So, and I said that was the one thing I think us four have in common, that we can have instances in our growing up that someone's either told us we weren't black enough because we didn't act hood on both sides or didn't fit a stereotype on both sides. And I figured you could take time to talk about, those instances where we grew up where I know I ain't the only one that's had that experience amongst the four of us. So who wants to start?
I've had a lot of those experiences, especially because of the way I move in the world.
Talk to us, Puerto Rican. I ain't letting that go.
Is that a Puerto Rican side?
Never let that go.
I don't,
I'm not gonna say what.
That's a whole different thing. It's just because of my complexion and the way I look. Some people think I'm Mexican or I speak Spanish. That's all. They'll come up to me and start speaking Spanish, and I'm like, I don't speak Spanish.
So you get confused instead of being you ain't black enough.
You do speak, Spanish words.
What he's talking about has nothing to do with the fuck I'm talking about. No, what I was talking about, like for example, I was into Jeeps and off-roading.
I thought you
know how many other black guys were there with me when I was doing it?
Zero.
So when I rolled up, the white people were like, whoa, and they didn't know how to like roll. They thought I was like, they perceived me to be like the black person they envisioned. And then when they realized I wasn't, they didn't really know how to react either.
Did they expect you to jump out the seat with watermelon and chicken too, or?
No, probably, because there's a lot of racist motherfuckers.
Probably expected him to show up with a Jeep that was lowered with dubs.
Right.
Crip walking.
With spinners.
No. So, you had those incidents where, like I said, that's why black people, we're not monolithic. We don't all do the same thing and move the same way, but there's people in society that think we do. And it's like, no, we're individuals just like you're individuals,
Yeah, that's partially ours too. That's partially on us.
And that's on us too, because, that same token, I run across black people that are like, why the fuck you off-roading? We don't do that shit. Come on, bro. Yeah, what?
We don't off-road at night. As long as you do it daytime.
No, I have.
I've driven off-road to fuck.
I don't know if that's.
It counts. It counts.
How far off-road did you go?
He was driving. He was off-road.
So let's pull over here.
But yeah, that's what made me think about it, because, like I said, we're not, but we get thrown into that stereotype. That's exactly what it is: stereotype and those tropes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And like Andy said, we're all different too on here. We've all moved different in our own communities and other communities.
Do you have anyone have a specific story that they can recall on both sides, or either it be like a black person telling them they ain't black enough, or a white person literally saying that they're not black enough? You're like, what the fuck?
Well, black people always tell me I don't talk black. I don't talk black. I don't act black. That's what I hear from black people. And then white people are like, what? You listen to that kind of music? I didn't know black people did. Mm-hmm.
Why would you know this that kind of music? Black people create all music.
Thank you.
Low-hanging fruit. I think that's what most of it is low-hanging fruit. People just take the swing. But I think I've told y'all that one time hanging out with some of us. We went out, and then there was a fight that we got into. And I jumped in. But later on in the night, one of the guys was like, I wasn't sure about you, Kevin. Like, I see you with white people and shit, and you move fine. But then tonight I saw you, and you move fine with niggas. So I think you can like, mix it with both. I was like, I had to fight
To get your approval.
Yeah, you know.
That shit's crazy.
It is settled. He is black.
He's with us.
My own wife told me I wasn't like other black guys. I said, damn.
Oh, mine the same. Mine the exact same way.
But my wife is black.
Yeah, I know that is bad. But mine said that too. She goes, if you were like most black guys, I wouldn't date you.
And I said, like, what the fuck does that mean? She said I was the safe black. I said, this ain't the most racist shit I've ever had from inside my house.
Mm-hmm.
Safe black.
I feel attacked.
Like we're all out there just committing crimes and doing dirt.
I've heard safe black in different instances, like with some of my classmates. The white women that would like black men, they always only dated the safe black or what they thought were safe black. The ones that, seemed like they did well in school and wore polos over Jordans and stuff like that. So it was always interesting that you could be categorized as safe black, like where women of other races will only date you if they think that you fit a part of, I guess, being accepted by society. I don't know. But like, it's interesting that like they'll give the guy that looks like this, that is well spoken and doesn't use slang or anything, or doesn't look like they come from the hood or from a suburban family. I've always been in the fucking smack dab middle. Either I wasn't black enough for black people to draw to, and I wasn't black enough for the white people, or I wasn't rather safe black enough for white people to go, you know what, he's cool, because I did like Jordans, even though I didn't buy a lot of Jordans, or I did like having gear or whatever, but like it would be one of those things where because I didn't look one way or the other, I was always kind of put in a box or left out in the outcast setting because of that shit. Like, so it's interesting that that's always been a thing that I think was weird to me. Is like either you fit a stereotype for a certain demographic or you don't fit the stereotype, and it's like, well, the fuck, like I'm just me,
right? And like you said, we do that to our own people, and that's what's even worse about it.
Yeah, I've had it growing up in St. Louis. I've had it. You don't talk black, you don't sound black, you don't do. I'm like, well, fuck. I'm sorry if I can speak properly or
pronunciate.
Yeah, like that doesn't make me less black. I go through the same shit you go through. I get pulled over. I get fucked with by police. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy that in those instances, then you can come across other races or the safe black that looks at you and thinks that you talk good, and you're like, well, I just speak like me. But it's the different levels, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things. I've dealt with it my whole life. I ain't even lie, because the circles I run with and the things I've done, I've always been in between.
But I guess then the scheme of it is how it affects your mental growing up. Like as far as,
I guess if I had to say it, I've always felt I never felt black enough for black people. When I was younger, but now that I'm older, I just don't give a shit. I'm me. If you don't understand that we're not all the same, we don't all live by stereotypes of bullshit. It is what it is. But back then when I was younger, like my whole family, they were like, oh man, I can't believe the way you act or you do this or you're into this. And I'm like, why? We're not allowed to do that because we're black.
Yeah, but people get lost in the color schemes when it comes to street life. I think that's what a lot of people equate it to. I'm like, oh, you ain't. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not street. You're right.
I never was.
Correct.
Never tried to be. Never was interested in being street at all.
Right,
Still
but
black,
that's that stereotype, though. That is literally that stereotype. They look at black people and think we're all just ghetto.
I went to school. I went to practice. Hung out with the wife, and then I'd go home and watch anime.
But I think that's part of.
I do the same shit today. Instead of going to practice, I go to work. I come home and watch anime.
We spend so much time embracing the hood and the way of hood living as glorifying it. Like, I don't think you should discount how you came up. You should always remember how you came up, but you don't have to do the same shit. Like, there's things from like hood times where you're like, hell yeah, that shit was fun.
You should try. Yeah, you should try, but you should be striving to be better.
Yeah. But we did all that time of just glorifying it, like, oh, it's got to be like this. Like, you know how we do. You're like, no. Like, I don't.
I mean,
but
when you look back, when I look back, I'm like, it could be that safe. The fact that I couldn't leave the block, like, don't cross the street, no, like that's an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I got friends that stay on the next street over, but I can't go play with them because they are I literally can't cross the street because it's too far from my house.
Can you guys recall times in which you realized that being that way, essentially, when you look back at it, saved your life?
Oh yeah. Oh,
We're being safe?
Yeah. No, we're not.
Not even safe, just being you. Like, just not being entertained by glorifying the street. Because I had a lot of friends that glorified hood shit that ended up in prison or dead.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I got a cousin who just got out. He did 17 years. He went in at 17, just got out today.
That's damn near your home.
And we used to hang tough, and I was just like, he went one way, I went another. I said, that ain't for me, pimp. You do what you want to do.
I just find it wild because the guys I would grow up with would, like, we would be hanging out in the same neighborhood, but, like, we think about different things. Like, we talk Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and shit like that, but at some point that shit turned and they were talking about Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood as things of reference, and they want to be like O-Dog, and you're like, what the fuck? And then, like, you realize as we got older, they really wanted to emulate O-Dog, and I was just over here still trying to be a Power Ranger. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, you realize those instances, you see those instances where you're like, that should save my life. Me not being entertained or enticed by that lifestyle saved my life. Because I saw a lot of motherfuckers that really wanted to be that way. And, like, there's my dad used to always say the guys he would run into would tell him after the fact that they wish they would have rolled with me more because I kind of did my own thing and I didn't end up in prison like they did. Or, you know, there was one guy that we weren't exactly cool, but he always used to, like, he was cool with my dad, and he ended up in prison for doing a drive-by.
Yeah.
And on some other shit about possibly raping a girl at RCC, and, like, it was one of them things where it was like those people always ended up in some situation where you're like, I don't get what you were enticed by, but I'm glad I wasn't interested. You know, like.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Like
you remember that story?
Oh yeah. I used to hang out with that fool quite a bit.
You know,
that nigga didn't like me. So.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised he didn't just hit you, because that nigga would just hit niggas.
Oh, we got into a fight when we were young. But no, I remember one time I knew something was off because he walked up to me one time in high school and was like, "Hey, if some essays ever fuck with you, let me know." I said, "Right." Nigga, we don't like each other, but okay.
But he wanted the shit that would do any excuse.
Maybe that was his olive branch. He was like, man, let's squash this shit. Maybe he was like, let's squash this shit.
It's weird how you say that because, you know me, I've done a lot of
stupid shit,
nefarious things. But
have you stopped?
Have
you stopped?
Yeah, I've stopped. But back then, it's I could have been in a lot worse situations than where I am. You know, like those situations where they lead to no good, and I've always walked away from them. And because I've walked away from them, I've always been deemed as not, like you said, not hard, not, if somebody's willing to go out and do a drive-by and you say, no, I'm not going to roll with you, they look down on you at that point.
Look down at me, nigga.
Look down away.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And that's literally what I'm talking about. And I said no, and just said no because I don't mind doing crime, but I know there's a limit to crime too.
Oh, hold on. The words of Hunter, those are him alone. I do not recommend.
While they look down from their prison, I'll never look up to them while I'm free.
Right.
I
You
I
know?
remember, I think I was in middle school and I looked around and I said, I'm not with that. I'm not with hanging with the crowds. I'm not. It's just. I've always been keen to being alone or by myself or in my own bubble. Like I found joys in having a small group of people I consider friends than doing what the masses were doing. Like I never was the one to go hang out at the hangout spot after school or let's go kick it at the mall. And no, that was never me. I'd rather not, because to me it's like, what are we doing this for? What's the point? What's the point of congregating for no reason? It's never for me. But then at the same time, it was also, I mean, they thought because I was a shorter guy, they thought they could try me. I remember there's one, you know how like in the middle school they go around, they call them play fights, but is niggas really just testing them niggas? I was like, whatever. So this one dude called me out. His name was Frank, and I think at the time I was probably about 5'7". Didn't hit my 2 inches yet. But this nigga was like 6'3", and he thought because he was taller than me, he could whoop my ass. And I said, nigga, I'll tell you right now, if you let me get inside your reach, you will never touch me again. And I whooped that nigga ass right in the locker room because he let me get inside. And after that, no one messed with me again. Because I don't think just because I'm short, I won't throw hands with your ass because you're tall. Just because I don't hang around y'all and do and go get 40s and sit outside Del Taco, don't think that I'm some pushover. And I just looked at him and was like, that's not the way I want to live my life. That shit don't seem fun to me. There's nothing. What is it? There's nothing I can gain from that situation, so I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah, you can gain anxiety and some time.
Yeah,
a casket, like that shit don't go nowhere. Like that shit always drove me away because I'm already like an anxious person. But like, you could see when you're hanging out with people, like how they're always just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that. That's not comfortable. Like I don't want to be uncomfortable. Like I want to go places and enjoy myself, not just head on a swivel. You never know. Like, well, I do because I'm not going to be in these situations. Like it's so much more simple.
You made me think about a time where I was hanging out with one of my friends, Calvin, and he lived in over there by Patterson Park, behind North.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over there. I was telling him about a date I was on, which went horrible. And we're just sitting out in front of his apartment, and some essay rode up on a bike, and he was like, where you from? We was like, we don't bang or nothing like that. He goes, okay, well, I'll be right back. I said, you know what, Calvin, it was nice having this conversation. I guess I'll finish it on the phone. I'm taking my ass off before I know what's good for me. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Like, because as soon as he said, I'll be right back, I said, see, nothing's ever good has ever come from I'll be right back.
Never.
Especially when I don't know you.
On the other side, like I don't want to have to be like, I don't want to be a soldier all the goddamn time. Like sometimes, I'm like, how are you?
Right. I've had that many times. Where you're, I don't bang, bro. Oh no, you look like I don't bang. Nothing about me says I bang. I'm around here in flip flops and Dickie shorts. Do I look like I bang? Nothing about me says I bang. Like
I don't know if I've ever been banged on, or if I've just been like so like not oblivious, but just like nonchalant to it, where it just didn't even matter. Like, like I'm not engaging with this.
but every time it ever happened, it's never happened to me when the dude's by himself. It's always a group of them.
Actually, like, I think I got banged on at work. Sorry.
No one's never walked up to me solo and like, hey, where you from? Never. That's never happened. But if it's like 2 or 3, I don't bang, sir. Go bother somebody else. I don't bang. I'm not part of your lifestyle.
The only time I ever got banged on is I was probably about 1 or 2 weeks living in California. So I'm from
like
Indiana. No, motherfucker, it was the fucking 90s. So I lived down in San Diego, and I went to right. He keeps wanting me to get older and older, but whatever. I came from Indiana. We came from Indiana, and we moved down to San Diego, and I went to a high school called Hoover High. I was there for like maybe, like I said, not even a week or two. Some blood guy came up on me in this bag, and we got into a straight fight, bro.
Oh, you went into it.
Oh yeah,
he's from out of town.
Yeah,
You're telling the story, and all our pictures of shit and grainy footage.
And we went at it. I mean, because he came up on me, he was like, "Well, bro, where you going?" I'm like, "Well, I'm 2 weeks into California. I don't know what the fuck about California is right now."
Yeah.
But but everything I even did when I was younger, I was still throw down. So we got into it. We were fighting, and then I remember the football coach coming over there breaking it up, and and he comes over, he goes, "Hey, who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I just came here from out of state." He's like, "Oh, you need to join the football team." I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." He's like, "Well, really, really?" I was like, "No, dude, I don't have good grades." I never had good grades. So
I've always had good grades.
Oh,
but yeah, that's about the only time I can remember. All the other times it might have been mentioned, but I don't look like the kind of person that bangs. Period. So I don't really.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
I've seen you in your matching boots with your shirt on.
No.
You look like
but yeah, I mean that's not. I don't. You can tell. We all know. You can tell gang members when they walk and the way they move. I never had that
walk?
stature.
When you was hobbling,
I don't know why, but I just pictured you with what are those plaid button ups, some baggy pants and some platform shoes, and you just fucking have that shit unbuttoned at the bottom like a cape, and you just flown in the wind, and it's all done in grainy footage. It's amazing. Every time you talk,
I wasn't 20 in the 70s.
It was
damn
Mac 10. That's what he would look like. Mac 10.
Mac 10?
Yeah.
I graduated in 94. So that tells you where I'm at.
And if you look so unsure, essays would come up to you and ask you if you were rolling with them. And then anyway.
I probably honestly got banged up more by essays than I ever had by freaking black people gangs.
Did they start speaking to you in Spanish?
No, they were just, the typical whatever and whatever, because it is. My circle I ran in between, when I was doing a lot of hood shit, I ran with a very diversified group. We're going to just put it like that.
Did you diversify your bonds?
We were all more about, fuck it. We were all more about the crime than we were about race.
Yeah, you guys call it.
So you're saying that you guys bonded over
illegal
crime,
anarchy.
And that's why I think even now, because of all that, I can move in different circles and relate and talk to all different kind of people, because I was always around so many different kind of people because of that. I wasn't just around one kind of person or one kind of race or anything.
Yeah.
Have you ever wired a car?
Yes.
So when I lost my keys, you could help me out.
No, because those are new cars. You got to remember, this is the 90s, bro. Yeah. Yes, I have hot-wired cars.
I don't know why. You had a T4 and you used to crank it up in the front and then close it.
Hey, if I could afford a T4, you know what? I'm not,
I'm sorry. I'm going to get one.
Motherfuckers are only 10 years behind me.
Let's just move on.
Yeah. So, but like I said, all that back then, it really helped now in my life. I will say that, because you guys see it. I can talk to anybody, you know, and because of that whole diversity, and I never got into that whole stereotype of what black people should do or this and that. It's benefited me later in life.
To be fair, though, I have met some people who are fairly street, I guess you would say, and never really got out and then got to meet people, but they didn't change who they were, but they still were able to, I guess, embrace other cultures. And like, when you see that happen, I think that's kind of cool, because you like see like the gears turn when like, oh, this shit ain't all bad. Like, oh, okay, like this ain't what I thought it was. Like, that's cool to watch. And I don't think you have to like change yourself to be able to mesh with everybody, I guess.
Yeah. But
like a good example is like Nipsey Hussle to me. Like, because it seems like he would be in board meetings with people but still talk the same way. But it's like, I
slap
still
the
have
shit
a
out of
level
somebody in an instant too. Yeah, like shit, like
I'm still me, but it's like we can find common ground. Like, that's what I think we need to work on more, is that there's a common ground for everybody.
What's
There
so
it is.
cool about Nipsey was the when he had the Big Boy interview and he asked Nipsey why he slapped that man, and he felt like you could see the humility and like the man, I shouldn't have did that to that man. I was like, the footage says otherwise. You slapped the like the fuck, like
he probably was saying that when he got in the car, like I should have done that to that nigga.
And the fact that he was like, man, he had to go home to his wife and explain that shit. She's like, I saw what happened today. He was like, hey, you got the shit slapped out of you. Like, yeah, like I think that's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to another man. Just slap him.
Mm-hmm.
I take a punch over a slap. That's shit. Like that's some disrespect. Open, like fucking area. All right, moving
But
on.
let me say this real quick. You know what I like about all of us? We're not raising our kids that way.
Yeah,
Which way?
never saw it.
No, that whole
to embrace that shit.
To embrace the stereotypes that we have in our own culture and everything.
I want to live that way.
Right, and that's good, and I like it because that creates more diversity in our own culture.
I have the most anti-black child there is. She don't like nothing. She don't like no stereotypical black food. She don't like watermelon. She don't like fried chicken. So, and she's not gonna be late. She got that from her dad. She hate being late. So,
Sorry.
I used to be mad about it. Now I just realize there's more watermelon for me. She's not gonna eat the watermelon.
But like I said, it's great though because our kids that are in this earth now are not going to raise their kids that way. And the more people who do that, the more we get away from that. You know.
And I was thinking, Kevin, you were saying like you got the acceptance from black people from jumping in the shit like that. I was opposite. I always kept thinking my dad gonna fuck me up if I do this. I'm good. You guys go on.
But,
that's what always used to run through my mind.
That's a good point. And I was more scared of what would happen to me once I got home than anything that could happen to me at school. That's why I will fight all you niggas. I don't care. I am not. Y'all not gonna get me in trouble. I will fight all. I'm not finna go home and say I did anything wrong. I would rather fight all y'all niggas than fight anybody in my house. I'm not doing it.
Oh yeah. I didn't even think about doing shit wrong and really, I guess, like that.
So the next topic, do you think mental health triggers are different for men and women?
I would say yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're two different genders. I'm not going to say
but
that.
I don't know because it seems like it would be like.
Don't assume my gender.
We probably stress about the same shit.
All right, Molina.
My pronouns are it.
Oh, I'm not calling you it.
I'm it.
Just call them they. Just say they.
My pronouns are it.
My pronouns are that nigga.
No. But yeah, there's definitely different triggers. I mean, it's man versus woman. You know there's going to be different triggers, you know?
So you
I think we have similar triggers, but I do think...
Oh, no, of course we're going to have similar.
But I think we do have different triggers, but I do think it's possible for us to have similar triggers as well.
Well, it's like
I think it's all circumstantial.
There you go, like that. You know,
everything.
That's exactly what it is. It's just circumstances, whatever's going on.
Because you could have a trigger. You and a woman can have the same trigger if you guys went through a traumatic experience together, or similar, or it's separately, but went through similar traumatic situations where, like, say, a mass shooting, or domestic violence in the household. Stuff like that you went in your childhood. I think it can resort to you having the same or similar triggers to, regardless of gender. I guess that question, would be more, if it was more specific, like triggers amongst relationships might be different because of instances of, even then it could be the same if it's cheating, if you both have to deal with cheating partners.
But I'm like, it seems like there would be something that women generally would deal with more. Not even more, just like it would be a woman thing. Like
Dick getting thrown at them all the time. That's different.
That could be a trigger. And like a lot of the health issues and stuff, you know what I mean?
Hold on. Kevin was in Palm Springs. He knows what that's like.
What's that?
Dick getting thrown.
Nigga, you must have forgot I lived in Seattle for a while too, so I learned to maneuver.
I don't know if that helps you. I don't know if that helps.
Niggas dodging dicks.
Hey, the parties were good, so fuck it, throw a couple dicks.
He did a Neo Matrix to a penis being flung out of him.
I think they can all be the same. I think, because I think a lot of times we don't really know. We have triggers that are unidentified. Because like a random event or a random word or a random phrase could trigger memory, which then trigger event. So
yeah, because like workplace, I would think it would be different type of shit you would go through as a man to a woman. Like what would more likely than not, the harassment is going to be different towards a man than a woman. So I think what would trigger you at work would be different, I guess. Like,
so you meet Big Bertha.
I mean, she ain't gonna.
If Big Bertha's in a state of power over you, it could make it similar.
What do you mean?
Like I'm saying, like in the workplace, if Big Bertha is your superior and she decided that she wanted to use her power to, similar.
I mean, like, when you think women do deal with that a lot more.
Yeah, they do it way more because there's a lot more men in power than women in a lot of job situations. So yeah, I can see it always being more for women because they have to deal with someone in a place of power trying to use that shit to their advantage to get, yeah. We see that shit all the time. You could see, oh yeah, the reason why she is here has nothing to do with her skill set. It has everything to do with someone trying to get something else.
Crazy.
I just know it's important. I think it is important in those settings to also be to make people aware of what's happening. Because sometimes I know it's hard for us to believe. A lot of times women are oblivious to being in those situations because they think that they're getting a fair shot and they don't realize that someone might be trying to take advantage of them.
But how do you address that?
I would just be like, just so you know, Billy over there has no intention of actually giving you this job,
or at least you say that, you leave it at that and don't say shit else.
Yeah.
Like slippery slope to me. I feel like Warner maybe. I ain't watched that nigga.
Yeah, just like I would if I were you, I would pay attention.
Right. Like I say, you say it once, don't say it again. Just that's it.
Yeah, because that gets tricky.
Mm-hmm.
She go talk to him. He said you ain't got no intention. That's bitch ass mother.
Or the instance when the altercation does happen, he was right about you, and you're like, shit, why'd you bring me into this? Like,
right.
I gotta admit, I'm kind of glad I'm not living in those kind of days no more.
What kind of days?
When you get caught up in situations like that or scenarios like that, I don't have those scenarios
in a Renaissance setting.
I don't have those scenarios no more. I would love to live in the Renaissance settings. You know how many horrors we had back then?
I gotta stop. All right, let me stop.
No.
I'm getting triggered. My trigger warning is anytime Hunter says back in those days or back then or anything that has that reference, I start going further and further back. It's weird.
Every time it says back then, I think Mike Jones.
No. But I don't even know what to say about you motherfuckers, so I just let it be at that. I don't feel like being triggered.
You're used to gestures, right?
I don't fucking feel like being triggered and fucking with my mental health right now.
You're used to gestures, court gestures?
I'm just gonna say fuck all of y'all.
I mean, not every trigger is a mental health trigger. Some
I don't give a fuck. Fuck all of y'all.
Tupac.
Oh shit! What was it like seeing Tupac as a kid?
Oh, you met Pop?
Sad part is I can't respond to that because Tupac was he was around my age.
Mhm.
I can't say much about that.
Did you give him the recipe for Thug Life or?
No.
Anyway,
Yeah. No.
trigger warnings.
Yeah. I can't even think of I can't think of a trigger warning or something that would trigger a man and a woman that we will both kind of take it kind of separately right now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by
I can't think
separately?
of- like
Differently?
Yeah, differently. What? What's wrong with the world?
Because you be using the wrong words. Separately and differently is two different things. Two different meanings.
You separately, you could go through the same thing.
It's two different contexts. Like, goddamn.
First off, I've clearly let it known in this fucking group that I barely graduated high school. Missed so much school that I should not even graduate. So fuck all of y'all.
They need to take your diploma away from your ass.
Ain't. No. So
But
you want to nitpick on what I'm saying, but you understood what the fuck I meant. So, but yeah, I can't.
No, I had to decipher so I could understand clearly what you meant.
Whatever then. Whatever. Live with that shit. But I really can't think of a scenario though. You know,
where it be different?
Mm-hmm.
You can.
What?
Without never mind. It sounds sexist. Never mind.
Exactly what
now we care about sexist.
Yeah, that's really what I was
Today's
trying
where
to
we
think
draw the
about.
line on sexist. Got
You know? Like you
Today,
have a
episode 107 is where we care about sexist. Okay.
I thought about I said, nah, I ain't gonna say that.
You reflected on yourself? Is that what you realized that? Okay.
I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do better and be better.
You know, can I say this though? If your wife has a mental trigger and you don't have it and you see it, do you help her out?
I tried, but then she just releases anger on me. So I just leave her alone. Let her process it in her own way.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you pointed out.
No, not anymore. I just let it.
No, I'm saying, you've pointed it out.
Yes.
It's almost like when you go, I used to watch that nigga. Like,
yeah.
Just let you know.
Yeah.
You do this when this happens. Just
Just
he
so
said, I don't even point it out no more. I just let her just sit in it.
Let her go through it.
Oh,
Did that take a long time to learn?
To let her. No. You know how it is, man. We gonna say things a couple times, and after that, like, oh, okay, well, we mean.
Yeah, I guess that's just what this is.
Yeah. you know that the famous saying, it is what it is. We just come to accept it. So
that's kind of interesting, though. Just popped in my head. How do we actually handle our own when our wives or significant others go through those situations and we see it? Because we're not going to take it the same way as they do, you know. But looks like we don't actually try to step in and help either, though.
no, look, you got to understand that their process is their process. A lot of times, the thing about help is a person has to be in a place where they want the help. Sometimes when people are triggered, they just want to be left the hell alone. So what you do, you just leave them the hell alone. Let them go through their process. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
I let her go through. I let her deal with it the way she deals with it.
Sometimes that could be dangerous too, though.
Oh, she ain't gonna kill nobody, but you know.
I was saying it comes to a conclusion where you leave them alone. She's like, you know what I realized? You're my motherfucking problem. You're like, oh shit, I thought I was helping you out, baby. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
You came to this conclusion by yourself? Yep.
Yeah.
No, but we already know, Mo. If he gets stabbed by his wife, that's what love is.
That's what love is.
No,
Do you know what love is?
He's stuck. If I'm the problem,
We
you
together.
married the problem.
With that being said,
Sorry.
well, with that being said, this has been episode 107 of the Heavyweight Podcast. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Give us the topics you want us to talk about.
All that.
But then again, I am Stuttering Fly. One more time, signing off with these three guys. Go ahead and state your names one more time.
Big Forever Wang. Holla at your boy. 1, 2, 3.
Is that the same name you started with?
No.
What's that? No, I was been Forever Wayne. Yeah.
No.
Forever.
It's your boy Melito.
I thought it was something with tooth something. Anyway, yeah.
It was Teeth something. I don't know. It's your boy Melito.
Teethalicious?
I'm just going to say, fuck y'all, Hunter. That's what my name is, y'all.
Why is that?
Fuck y'all.
It went through your triggers.
Hell yeah.
He's triggered.
Yes, I am triggered. Yes.
Till next time, we appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate the people who listen to fuck these
bless.
We'll see where Hunter goes next in his back in time.
Apollo 13.
You know there was no black people back then.
Whoa.
Damn.
It's been a heavyweight podcast. Thank you for listening.
All right, man. We love y'all, man. We out. Peace.
Whoa.
It's a wrap. That's all she wrote, folks. Thanks for tuning in once again. You can check us out on all streaming platforms. Click like, subscribe, leave some comments. You know what I'm saying? Is it Monday yet? Hello. Every Monday you got new episodes, so tune in. Have a blessed one.